flowers in our trees. We call a sick for the asleep. Never know what it means. Beneath our skin we shine like whispers, straight flames into the night. We shine like whispers, a thousand lights. We shine like whispers. Explode a thousand lights. She swam the velvet forest of doubt is unsafe. For the light, the death of sunlight. No wagon trip tonight. Life could never be as sweet as the ground beneath her feet. Beneath our skin we shine like whispers, scream flat into the night. We shine like whispers, explode a thousand lights. We shine like whispers. Explode a thousand lights. Beneath our skin we shine like whispers, scream flat into the night. We shine like whispers, explode a thousand lights. We shine like whispers. Explode a thousand lights.
Always better when you can actually hear me, right? Right, yes, anyway, in a somewhat shady start there, but hey, never mind, eh? I've actually thought about having a microphone stand today anyway. That's exciting stuff, isn't it? Right, yes, anyway, we're going to get on with some nice music shortly. But obviously, in case you don't know who I am, I'm Derek Anthony Williams, also known as the Futurist, sometimes for no real good reason, just because I feel, needed some kind of stage name, why not? And anyway, got Dead Happy coming along in around 10-15 minutes, something like that. Anyway, they're coming along to play Sheffield on the 14th of June, which is my birthday, which is, of course, I keep telling everyone because it's important that everyone knows. Right, but what I want to play for you now is, if indeed the Facebook thing will, the browser will let me see what I've downloaded. I can't actually find what I was supposed to be there, so I don't know, maybe I should play some Dead Happy or something. No, I'll grab what's needed anyway. So yeah, 14th of June we've got Dead Happy and TheWEBB there, so they're coming to play. Have I got it here? I don't know where it is. we'll have a bit of the web. I could have sworn I downloaded this for playing earlier, but hey, I don't know. Yeah, let's have a bit of the Losin All Me Marbles video by TheWEBB, because they're obviously coming along to play on the 14th of June as well, and apparently it's going to be their last gig. Oh no! No, that's terrible. Right, anyway, I mentioned that last week. This is see, so you know, can where is it? I know that's the wrong way. Is that way? I think, I don't know. Where's the camera? No, that's the wrong way. I'll work it out. There you go. See, I did. That was a waste of time. Anyway, yeah, down there at the bottom you can see it says join the night shift.uk. You can go buy tickets from there. £8 advance plus 8p fees, or £10 on the door. Can pay by card if you want, or cash. I don't mind which. We'll be able to sort both, hopefully. Right, anyway, it's about time to have a bit of Dead Happy, I think. So they've recently played Japan, which, you know, that's pretty amazing, isn't it? So let's have a bit of a video of them live in Japan. It is in Shinjuku, Tokyo, Japan. Very nice indeed. And you're right, it's I don't know what the track is. It doesn't say. I think, oh, it does say I'm sorry. I'm useless. It's Off Switch, which I played on the show last week. And anyway, let's have that.
Arigato, domo arigato. You have been the best sound guys we've ever worked with. Thank you very much. Again, we've been dead happy. This song is on our YouTube page, youtube.com/dead happy band. You can go get some free business cards. It's got all the stuff on there, and then you can get a lot of stuff for free. Yes, it's like stealing, but it's legal. Anyway, this is our last song. It's called Off Switch, and it's about a robot. So have fun with that. We've been dead happy. Thank you very much.
Please.
Hey!
Me.
To ascertain regulations, what about me? Wild instead of veins with no time to complain. Just give me a heart attack, cause there's no time to relax. Why don't you make this way? Program the robot to feel pain. I don't want this, I don't need it. I don't think there's any other. I don't want this, I don't need it. I don't think there's any other. Why do you spend a million times get cut off every time I try? Meaningless existence is okay if you can die. Yeah, that was not for me. I just wish I could find my off switch tonight. I don't want this, I don't need it. I don't think there's any other. I don't want this, I don't need it. I don't think there's any other. Make me this way. No, just so program robot to feel pain. We have been dead happy. We will be playing the Underground tomorrow if anybody still wants some more. Thank you very much.
So cool! Right, strangely, I've disappeared from my screen and I'm not sure why. Oh, I know exactly why. What am I on about? Anyway, yes, I'm joined now by Jason of Dead Happy. I don't know. Do you actually go by any other sort of stage name or anything? I can't remember now.
It's meant to be Professor Partorius, but it rarely ever comes up.
Yeah, really sort of... I don't know, maybe you should change your Facebook name to that or something. Anyway, so...
Possibly.
Anyway, so Japan looked like a nice time anyway, but anyway, we should probably really sort of talk a little bit, just in case anyone doesn't really know about Dead Happy, what the hell it's all about. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory from that video, but you just say you're electro metal then.
Yeah, we coined the phrase freaky disco metal. But everybody just kept asking, what was that? So we just reverted back to electro metal. It was easier. Sort of electro punk.
Yeah, the thing is, I know it's sort of getting straight into sort of kind of what I think about things. It's just, I think it's interesting how it's sort of, in effect, presented in this sort of slightly, or you're not exactly that serious about it in a way, in the way you sort of talk about it and stuff on Facebook, and yet it's astoundingly complicated. It just sort of blows my mind at how you can get the timing right and everything on that. I mean, there's so much to sort of do on that. It just constantly amazes me.
Well, I mean, the way I look at it is that if I can do it, it's probably not that complicated. So,
And it is certainly.
I mean, I go by the name Professor, but I'm not qualified.
Yeah, you're a professor of freaky metal disco, maybe? I don't know.
Maybe I could get a PhD in that. I'm sure I could print something online.
So what sort of drew you to sort of mixing this sort of metal and sort of electro disco kind of thing, and these sort of rather unusual sort of arrangements that you have?
Mainly because I just change my mind on what I want to write every week. So it just depends on what I'm listening to. One week I'll be listening to like Aqua, and then I'll be listening to, Job for a Cowboy, and then Devin Townsend, and then something like Danny Minogue. It was like we watched Eurovision just gone by. So there's like
what was your favourite from the recent Eurovision then?
Croatia, Baby Lasagna. I wanted that to win.
Yeah,
that was my favourite.
Yeah, my favourite was probably Austria, which was last year as well. Strangely, more into the sort of pure pop myself, I think.
Yeah, did they get through? I can't remember.
I mean, they were in the final, so I guess they got through to the final at least, but they didn't do very well. But yes, this is the Eurovision podcast. And last year it was Who the Hell is Edgar? So welcome to the Eurovision discussion podcast. Anyway.
Oh no, that was a good one.
Yeah,
I like that one.
That was absolutely my favourite last year. So yes, I hope everyone's enjoying this discussion of Eurovision. That's what everyone's really here for, I'm sure. So
everyone loves Eurovision.
With your sort of manner of how did it work out? Did it sort of get worked out, or did it just sort of happen in the way you ended up presenting Dead Happy and the sort of whole kind of semi-professory thing gimmick that came about? I mean, did you think about what shall I do it as, or did it just sort of happen with that?
It slowly evolved. We had our one of our old bassists come on, and for some reason he wanted to wear a mask. Don't know why. And we were just like, it's going to look a little bit silly, you wearing a mask and us maybe not wearing a mask, which is a bit hypocritical because I was in another band where I wore a mask and no one else wore a mask. But he said, well, if the guitarist wasn't opposed to wearing a mask, so he wore a mask. And I said, it's going to be difficult for me to sing and wear a mask. So he said, why don't you like dress up as a professor and we can be your creations type of thing.
Yeah. And
we just sort of latched onto that and slowly progressed it from there.
And it just works so well, everything that you do. I mean, it was a little unfortunate. It maybe had some sort of slight traffic issues getting to the festival last year, so I just had to try and sort of get you back to you could, because obviously it kind of truncated your set a little bit, which was a terrible shame because really such a highlight. So I had to get you back because it just always is so amazing what you do. So I'm sure there's something else really. Oh yeah, so let's talk about Japan then, shall we? Because obviously, it's kind of a big thing that not many of us get to go play Japan. So What can you tell us about Japan? Is there anyone living there? No. So what was it
Well,
like?
the Japanese, for a start. They're the
Yeah,
ones.
yeah. Any
Millions of them,
really
all over the place.
Wow, I never thought so. I wondered where Japanese lived. So what was the reception like, and how would you say it differs much from playing live here?
Yeah. So it's a lot different. I think one of the main things in Japan is it's a lot more acceptable over there to not have a live acoustic drummer. Whereas over here, I mean, particularly for us, because we seem to sift around a lot more in the metal scene, so everybody's got a drummer, and it's always everybody's a bit weirded out that you don't have an acoustic drummer.
Yeah.
But in Japan,
That's what
really common to not have a drum kit on stage. So that was refreshing. But no, they're a lot more receptive of that type of music in Japan. And generally the way the live houses are run are a lot more efficient, because when we played there, we played a festival on the Sunday, and that had a full team. And we've played festivals before in the UK, like Bearded Fury Festival and Boomtown, but they're very similar to just your average sort of pub gig. You have the sound guy come on and question everything that you're doing.
Yeah.
You get it all set up, and you get the inevitable, "Oh, I've got nothing coming through, mate." And then they accuse you of your wires being rubbish and it all being your end. And 99% of the time, it's always a button they haven't pressed on the soundboard.
Yeah.
But in Japan, not only did we not have any of that, literally, we went to go on stage to set up our stuff, and they'd already set it all up for us.
Oh,
And we were like, okay, well, that's probably just, because it's a big venue and, it's just professional staff. But then the next day on the Monday, we played like an underground, tiny little pub place, and got exactly the same treatment.
Yeah.
The guy who was running it was the barman, he was the sound guy, he was the cleaner, he was just the general manager of the whole thing. He set it all up for us, got us all sound checked and whatnot. And I made a faux pas. I brought this translator thing. So you speak into it and it translates it into Japanese for you, because I only know sort of basic conversational Japanese. I didn't know like technical things.
I pretty much just know how to say something's next to something else. That's about a lot. Anyway.
But we got there and we needed a keyboard stand. So I said into the translator, I said, have you got a keyboard stand? And I played it to him, and he just sort of went, okay, and off. And I was like, that's a bit strange. And then I looked at it, and it had misheard what I said, and what it had actually translated was, "Do you have any standards?" I just insulted this guy. Luckily, the opening act showed up, and they spoke fluent Japanese and English, and they were able to clear it up for us.
That's really good.
Yeah, again, though, they set up all of our equipment for us, and we didn't really have any. We had like one sound issue, but he sorted that out for us rather than just accusing us of it being our equipment.
Yeah.
And the show went really well. I mean, it wasn't as well attended because it was a Monday.
Yeah. So
like afterwards, we were a bit concerned because the guy came up to us, and the person who was doing the translating said, he wants to say something to you, but I'll let him say it and then I'll translate. And we're like, oh no, he's gonna have a go at us. For, I've opened up this place on a Monday. You haven't brought anybody. I think there was about maybe 4 people there. It's like, you haven't brought anybody. You're gonna have to like pay us or something. Because we have had that in the past in UK gigs where people have complained to us for not bringing enough people, and that's when we have brought people.
Why didn't you bring 1,000 people to the festival I booked you on? Honestly,
It's mad. Like, we've literally had people come up to us and like complain and say, "Oh, you didn't bring enough people." I was like, "Oh, you know, we're the first band on." Like, literally one of the first gigs we ever had. The guy running it said that we needed to sell 25 tickets, and I was like, "Well, it's a 100 capacity venue. It's a 100 capacity venue. You want me to sell a quarter of the capacity, and I'm the first band on?" But anyway, no, he did this whole thing, and we were worried he was going to be having a go at us. But then afterwards, they translated it, and he was actually apologising for there not being enough people here.
Oh.
He gave us a packet of money and said, "This is promise money that you'll come back to Japan, and when you do, I'll put you on a better day, and I'll make sure that there's more people here."
Oh, that's so wonderful!
Like such a contrast to the UK, where we.
I mean,
would have got a bollocking for it.
Don't get me started on music venues. I mean, I won't mention any names, but a certain venue that might not be too far away in possibly playing has been, despite paying them some time ago, they've been absolutely terrible at communication. I've basically not had any comms since February, but hey.
It's pretty standard. I don't know why venues are so terrible at communicating.
And I sent
about... Even when you physically go there?
Yeah, I mean, like 10, 15 emails I sent out yesterday to various music venues trying to book gigs. I've had a reply from one. It's just... And I've been trying to organise, this is just what people want, obviously, you know, the trials and tribulations of trying to organise gigs is absolutely riveting stuff. But yes, I've been trying to organise a gig for like end of August, and it sort of started off sort of communicating, but then it's just died to death. And yeah. Anyway, we're not here to talk about music videos and venues and how they ask you for a tech spec, and then on the night you turn up and the sound engineer says, "What's your tech spec?"
That was another thing in Japan. We actually gave him our tech spec, and when we showed up, the guy came with a printed copy of our tech spec and said, "Oh, this is you. Let me just see how it all works." I was like, "You've actually read it, let alone printed it."
It's just here. You just read, and you send your tech spec to the venue. They ask for you for it. You send it,
and then when you show up,
and then you show up and they say, "What's the setup for tonight?" Then, "Oh no!" Oh, it's just.
We had that at the last gig. They were like, "Oh, so what's your setup?" I was like, "Oh, have you had our tech spec?" I was like, "Oh, well, I haven't." I haven't had your tech spec because so you haven't read, you've received it, but you haven't looked at it.
And I've often had like, there's no drums, there's no live drums. Turn off and there's a drum kit set up. Anyway. So Japan. Anything else about Japan that you think maybe could do with being said or anything? It's probably about covered the sort of basic. You had a great time and everything, but anything else?
It's very good for music in general, because we're going back again next year in May and then again in November, and we're debating on what to do in terms of shows, because realistically Tokyo is so big and there's so many like little venues all over the place. You could literally just do the entire tour in Tokyo. Wow. Never leave the city. I mean, that's another thing that the UK doesn't have, is just small, little music venues that you can just play at. It's
how do you define that, though? I mean, Sheffield's got a good number of smallish music venues, but I mean, you're talking about 100 capacity. I don't know if that's.
I mean, I'm talking like maybe less than 100, like maybe 50.
Or
something. It's like you can pretty much sell out a 50 capacity venue if you get enough sort of communication going. And like you could potentially do an entirely sold out tour in Tokyo just by doing small venues. But you can't do that in the UK because there isn't small enough venues to do that.
And frankly, half the time sort of playing even a 50 capacity venue, it can be sort of tricky to get people out. I mean, the
if
venue...
you do a 50 capacity venue and you've got, like, say, 3 bands and there's 5 people in there, this is almost half full just based on the bands.
Really. But, like...
it's just a nicer atmosphere.
the feel. I mean, my festival location is only about 60 capacity, but it's kind of nice in there, and that's why I like to use it. And I don't know, and it's not going to be huge where we are for the 14th. It's going to be about 80 capacity, I think. Your audience is kind of going to be sort of around the stage if they can be bothered to actually go round to the side of it. But when I saw I Am Imperfect there, they were kind of half out the door. Anyway, but interesting venue though, definitely. So also you played a sort of metal for the masses type thing, didn't you, where it was like a you had to entered for a bit of fun, you say, but ended up getting through the qualifying round.
That was weird. Last year we entered as a bit of a joke and ended up all the way to the final. So people kept voting us through. Didn't expect
what
that.
playing at, honestly. What do I want to go make you get through this competition of bands?
We got all the way. I think we got through on crowd votes for the first heat and the semi-final, but the moment we got to the final, it was based off of the guy who actually books Bloodstock, who of course didn't want a freaky disco metal band playing at the festival. So,
but the thing is, he absolutely should, though. I mean, honestly, the thing is, that's why all these sort of metal festivals and that suck, because they don't embrace the interesting and exciting and what is actually good, frankly, and metal sucks anyway.
We always, any metal show we're on, we consider ourselves a palate cleanser.
Yeah,
put us on like about third, and then sort of works out quite well.
I mean, I booked you for a goth festival, but it was my sort of ideas of a goth festival are pretty far-fetched, I think, especially this year. I think it's a load of electro women mainly, but anyway. So, Dead Happy, how's it been? How's it going now compared to how was it going in the past and stuff? How's things evolving over time? Have they evolved over time?
Well, when we first started, like over 10 years ago, it was very different because it was just me, and it was more like a sort of a sugary Nine Inch Nails. But we eventually got a guitarist on board and a bassist on board. But our guitarist got stage fright at like the second gig that we ever did, and was just basically, I can't do this. Oh. So our bassist had to take up the guitar, and then we got a new bassist in, but then he got disenfranchised with the music industry in general, like traveling over 2 hours to play to 10 people, that type of thing. So he left, and then we got our supremely incredibly talented bassist Tom, but he suffered an illness that basically stopped him from playing bass altogether. So we eventually, I think the guitarist left, and then the bassist got the illness, so it was just me for a little while again. And then I got Damien in on sample drums, just to give the live drums a little bit more energy. And then recently we got our old guitarist back. But then after the tour in the UK with the Japanese band Viawatt, he had to leave again because he actually damaged his ears playing 3 nights in a row. And we then got in our latest guitarist, Cameron, who's a lot more sort of alternative metal. He's a lot more into things like, Deftones and Korn. So that's made the sound a little bit more sort of like 90s metal riffs, which is sort of late 90s metal, early 2000s, like new metal, which is the kind of stuff that I was into when I was younger. So it sort of works. And then we've got Damien adding in the more sort of early pop, Euro pop drum beats in there, like a lot of heavy kick and the synthesized claps added in there. So it's the live shows evolved quite a bit in terms of how it sounds. And now that we've started recording new songs, Cameron's started adding in the more sort of new metal riffs into that. So it is. So every time we get a new person in, it does start to evolve a bit more. I'm quite happy with the lineup we've got at the moment.
Yeah.
Especially with the new song.
I think it is fabulous that you don't have, or sort of that you don't follow any particular exact style, that you are mixing up these genres by including things like the Europop stuff alongside it. I mean, that is something which absolutely sort of excites me, as well as your incredible performance and the way you absolutely sort of blew everything away at the festival. Even though you had a sort of somewhat truncated set, you just absolutely sort of went for it, and everyone just went crazy for it, I think, and it was just absolutely wonderful. And so much of it is in your incredible delivery, the way you put it over so incredibly well. It's just quite a marvel to watch you at work, frankly. I just that's why I had to have you back, because it was just a bit of a shame things didn't work out. So has your performance in that sort of way sort of evolved at all over time? Have you got better at putting things across, or what influences it exactly? Are there any sort of things maybe outside music or anything that influence your on-stage persona, so to speak?
I like a lot of comedy. We go to a lot of comedy gigs. You know, watch a lot of online stand-up and whatnot. And because we do the our videos every now and then, usually the Halloween and the Christmas episodes, where we'll be like fighting Frankenstein monsters and mutant turkeys and whatnot. It's just I do quite like writing comedy scripts and whatnot. We've got quite a few that we've just never got around to filming. So I do like to write a lot of comedy. So anytime I think of anything remotely funny, I'll write it down, and then I'll just see if it works on stage. So there's a lot of my live performance in between the songs, at least, is very sort of stand-up comedy driven. So I do like to see if I can say anything that'll just make people laugh.
Yeah.
And then as far as the live performance goes, I don't think that's ever really particularly changed from when we first started doing it, really. I've always tried to be as lively on stage and move around as much as possible.
Yeah, which you do wonderfully.
Yeah, yes. But I mean, that actually takes quite a lot of cardio work. It's you know, I have to do a lot of burpees and running and calisthenics to try and keep up with that and do the singing, because it's like, for example, just simply jumping and singing in the song takes so much out of you.
Yeah, that's
it's surprising. I don't think people realize how tiring it is to sing and move around.
Yeah.
I don't think people realize how tiring that actually is. So it does take quite a lot of cardio to do, but I do realize that it needs to be visually interesting, because I hate watching a video back when maybe I'm a bit tired and I'm not really moving around all that much, or even worse, when it's just a case of the stage is quite small. You know, usually you've got the drum kit behind you, so you can't really move around all that much. So I really hate watching videos back where I'm not moving around quite a lot because I just kind of feel like it looks a little bit boring and
Yeah,
it doesn't really fit. It doesn't really fit the music. You know, if I was singing doom metal, I could get away with it, or opera, but I'm not. I'm singing electro metal at 200 beats per minute.
I just kind of love how it's just it's got the sort of energy of all those things, but without the sort of macho bullshit that goes along with so much of it. You know, it's just an absolute delight. Anyway, I've probably talked to you far too long, but I'm a big fan of what you do and appreciate you so much for agreeing to come along to play Sheffield. I don't know how we're going to do for audience. Hopefully flocks and flocks of people coming to see me on my birthday, because who wouldn't want to celebrate that? But
your birthday, just guilt trip everybody into coming saying that's your birthday present.
Obviously.
Yeah,
I kind of wanted to at some point cover the sort of a bit about your sort of choice of sort of cover songs and mashups and stuff, but that will have to wait for another time or something. But absolute genius in that sort of thing. Anyway, really, really excited and looking forward to having you in Sheffield on the 14th of June, which, did I mention, that's my birthday. So make sure you've got me a present, obviously. Anyway, yes, thank you. Thanks so much. I'm going to play your video with Electric Six now.
Yeah, great bunch of lads.
Yeah, let's get that ready, and wherever it is, Sex Appeal, My Sex Appeal is the title of it. That would have been an interesting thing to talk about, you know, your collaboration with Electric Six. But alas,
part two.
Oh yeah, we're going to have a chat for some other time, maybe. I don't know, but anyway, everyone needs to appreciate how amazing and wonderful Dead Happy are. So here's Dead Happy featuring Electric Six with My Sex Appeal. And
My Sex Appeal. This is something you can't deny. You can't hide it. Don't even try. You can ask. I tell you what you know. You can point. I tell you where to go. Rock and roll master. It's what you're after, but you can't hide. Avoid disaster and move much faster. But here's the deal. In the factory. Where to begin? Satisfactory. Reach it in. Use your brain or use your brawn. Got what it takes. Then bring it on. Rock and roll master. It's what you're after, but you can't hide. Avoid disaster and move much faster. But here's the deal. My sex appeal. Now don't go thinking you're the only one. Just look at me. Look at how it's done. You heard it here from the veteran hound. The only thing to look for too is the breakdown. Once again. Rock and roll master, it's what you're after, but you can't hide.
Well, I guess that's over and done with now. I guess there was a bit more, you know, but yeah. I got the main gist of it over. There's that poster for it again. You know, and Dead Happy really ought to be the headline band, obviously, but because it's my birthday. Did I mention that? Then obviously I'm going to pretend it's all about me. Alright, it'd be nice to have a fan base. Anyway, I've got another gig coming up as well. We've got Machine Rox. So let's have a bit of them.
She was my pretty doll, and she looked like myself. Phony looked
Look, there's the poster for it again. It's all about me. If only I was as good as Machine Rox, eh? Right, anyway, we need to get on and play a bit more. And next one, kind of a bit apologetic that I'm playing this because I just wanted to give an idea of what it was like to see Valentina Reptile live. She's a really great performer as well, really energetic on stage. This is only a live clip, it's quite short and the sound quality won't be great, but it gives some idea anyway, even if it's not absolutely perfect. So I'm sure you can forgive that sort of thing. Right, anyway, here we go then. Valentina Reptile, Take It From Me, live at Queen's Head. That was a bit of a look. Seeing her live is even more incredible than that. So Hope and Anchor, 16th of June, there for that one. Right, yeah, I need to play a bit of Legpuppy as well, as they are also joining us for that gig. Latest Legpuppy video release is called Loyal, Faithful and Brave. So let's have a bit of that, shall we? Why not? All part of the...
Pivotal moment. I see several priorities for the global. At this pivotal moment, I see several priorities for the global agenda. We must revitalize the global economy and accelerate its transition to net zero. And we must narrow the gap between the rich and the poor to achieve more sustainable global development.
Loyal, faithful and brave.
Loyal, faithful and brave.
Loyal, faithful and brave.
Loyal, faithful and brave. Faithful and brave.
Brave, brave, brave. Brave, brave. Brave, brave, brave. Brave, brave.
Loyal, faithful and brave.
Brave, brave, brave. Brave, brave. Brave, brave, brave. Brave, brave. Faithful and 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 brave.
Loyal, faithful and brave. Loyal, faithful and brave. Loyal, faithful and brave. Loyal, faithful and brave. Loyal, faithful and brave. Loyal, faithful and brave. Loyal, faithful and brave. Loyal, faithful and brave. 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 Loyal, 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 faithful and brave.
And we must narrow the gap between the rich and the poor to achieve more sustainable global development.
15th of June, London, 16th of June. I'm going to see Betty Boo on the 15th. Yay. Right, that's it. Bye for now.